You thought you were done with the decade videos because it's like January 25th or whatever it is, but nope, we got one more. This video's been on my mind for a little while, but it's taken me a second through the holidays to get back into posting some videos. I feel like I just really had to get back into the swing of things. I guess it depends on like how much the holidays throw you out of your rhythm, but just with some projects that I was taking over in December, it threw me off a lot. So that being said, I really did want to share just some insights of things that I learned in the last decade. I'm 34, so the last decade was my second half of 20s, first half of 30s. A lot of good learning lessons. Pretty much all of my retail and product-based side of my career, all of my marriage. So I've been with my husband for 6 years. All of my time in Chicago, because I've been here for 9 years, almost a Chicagoan basically. And yeah, I mean, we're pretty good at thinking that we have it all figured out at 25. But if I went back to 25 today, these would be 5 learning lessons that I would really take with me. And I think that there would be benefit to understanding them at the beginning of the last 10 years. The first one is that people that are really important to you in your life need to know that they're really important to you. I'm not really kind of a very mushy person, I guess you would say. I think I've gotten a lot better at stuff like that. But I think that I've spent the bulk of my relationships being a little bit more of the guy in that regards. Is that a weird gender thing to say? But, when I'm on a business trip, I don't really need to talk to my significant other. I mean, I'm focused, I got stuff to do during the day, same thing. I'm busy, Just in relationships, I would always like to very quickly get to the stage where we can each just do our own thing. And, if we want to come together at night, then we can do that then, but got stuff to do. And I just kind of wanted that other person or whoever it was, friends and family too, to just understand, hey, I care about you. You should know that I care about you. And in the meantime, I'm busy. I have busy days or I have busy weeks. Can we all just live our lives and not, worry about how often we're communicating or whatever. And I think, and you can't just really expect somebody to just know that they mean the world to you. I realized that I needed to be a much better communicator of, hey, you are super important to me in my life. And when you're, and you need to know how that person likes to hear that best. But a lot of times that's just basic communication. And when you're genuinely reminding somebody often that you love them or that they're on your mind or that they're super important to you, that goes really far in that relationship rather than just kind of expecting that somebody should understand that you lead this busy life and they know that I love them. So what is the deal? Just got much better at saying that and at taking the time to say that rather than being a little hard-headed about it. The second thing that I've learned in this last decade is that if somebody is really a true friend or whoever, right? Maybe we're talking about a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, but they're really a true ride or die. We'll say it that way. Then they will understand when you're not so good at that first one, and they will help you through that. So as it took me some time to get better at those things, I've kept a lot of friends through those times, and I've also lost touch with friends through those times. And I think that true friends are genuinely there even when you're sucking at keeping in communication or letting them know that they're very important to you and they're either patient with you and or helping you develop that skill set by, right, being honest with you or letting you know or whatever. I don't look at it too much of like, oh, if I've lost touch with people, that's my fault or that's their fault. If, that friendship was meant to be, then it was meant to be, even if I needed to learn this lesson and it took me some time to do so, that if it was meant to be, then they would have been really understanding during that time too. So I think there's something to that. I think that even if you do go through times in your life where you suck at that, your real ride or die people in your life, they're going to understand through that. And if they don't, then they're not really a true friend. Number 3 is the world does not care about your excuses. There's a lot of times where I'm interviewing somebody and they have a seemingly really good reason to have left this job at 6 months and the next job at 8 months and the following job at 4 months and the following job at a year. Like, each reason seems pretty good, but bottom line is they've been hopping around at various jobs. And so that's what's seen. I'm sure there's a lot of people's life situations where it seems like it would be a really good reason or excuse to therefore be in a certain situation that they're in now that's not favorable. But there's a ton of other people that have been in the similar situation and turned it around and become very successful in whatever the industry is. If there's somebody with your excuse that is doing it right now, that is taking action to put their plans together, then you don't have an excuse, right? And I think that that's what we have to live by. Which leads me into the 4th thing, which is you're 100% in control. There is just no debate around life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it, no matter what it is. And there's like terrible things out there, and I get it. But there's somebody with everything that has a story that they've overcome. It's 10% what happens, it's 90% how you respond. You are in control of your life. And so if you act like you don't have control, if you act like things just happen to you and there's nothing that you can do about this particular situation or whatever, then it's just playing the victim card. And that's all it is. It's just a card, it's a move, it's a game, it's an act. Take control. Oh my gosh, I just got this alert on my phone because I forgot to put my phone in airplane mode before I did the video, which I should have done, that Kobe Bryant died. I mean, that is unreal. What a terrible, terrible tragedy. Well, I mean, before I turn on ESPN and, oh my gosh, or do I not? Do I just not immerse myself in that? Gosh, what a terrible thing. I guess that kind of segues into number 5, which is that you need to take care of yourself. And now it kind of has like a life's too short kind of, spin, right? But even as you're going for big dreams and big goals, you have to self-care along the way. And then at times where I was working really hard and not making a lot of progress, a lot of that was like spinning the wheels because I wasn't willing to slow down for a moment to decompress or take care of myself to where I'd be more refreshed for the next day or the next week or whatever. Even as you're achieving these goals and not making excuses and assuming control of your life and blah, 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 you have to take care of yourself that entire time. That way you are refreshed. You can take advantage of every opportunity. My gosh, what crazy news, huh? Life's short. You know, you got to balance it all while you're playing the game, right? I mean, obviously Kobe worked super hard to get to where, I mean, crazy hard, right? To get to where, you know, he had been and his accomplishments. But, you know, he also led from the front in a lot of these areas too, with family and things like that. Yeah, he's just, I mean, he's well known for a lot of that stuff. Not just the sport. So I guess that's kind of the summing it up, right? It's like this list, it's a balance between what's important if you were to die tomorrow and also leaving a legacy behind. And sometimes we tend to swing one way or the other. You know, we either don't want to work hard because we use the excuse of, I want to be at every single possible concert or social function because, you know, life's too short. Or I work so hard that I miss every single one of them. And in the meantime, don't tell people how much they mean to me because I'm that busy. And it's the meaning between the two, right? Man, I think I'm going to go turn on ESPN and check more about this. R.I.P. Kobe. I hope that that's a message that's helpful today.